Hi everyone, welcome to the GameOnDaily Saturday live stream. Thank you for joining us. We are going to discuss some topics, basically what's happening in the game industry this week, and we're joined by, again, lovely guests, Asa, co-owner of GameOnDaily. Say hi, Asa.
Yeah, I'm feeling weird about being introduced as a guest, but good evening, Gaz. How are you?
Yes. Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I feel a little bit sick. Carry on.
And we've got Safe, aka Virtuous Scimitar. I hope I've pronounced that properly. Safe has appeared on our old videos and is a correspondent. How are you doing, Safe? Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's nice to be here. And yes, you
Yeah.
pronounced it correctly. Well done.
Yes, I deserve a medal for that. Because I almost balls that up. So we are just, if you've joined us before, we have a very chilled out vibe for this show. So hopefully we will discuss some games, and then later on we'll actually play them in the form of Sea of Thieves. So feel free to chat. Let us know what you want us to discuss as well. We've got some set topics, but it's not set in stone. The first thing I want to talk about, it's been doing the rounds lately this week, is another battle royale game that's joined the fray, and that's Hyperscape, which I think me and Asa have managed to play. Safe, do you know anything about Hyperscape? Have you?
I don't know much about it. I just saw the trailer, and it looked really, really cool. I'm not super into battle royale games, but that does look pretty slick, I have to say. So yeah, looking forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah, I think me and Asa played it, and I tried it a little bit yesterday and a little bit today, and I wasn't convinced it would tear me away from Apex Legends. But what did you think, Asa? Because I feel like I drag you into a lot of the battle royale games, but you do seem to enjoy them as more than you'd like to admit.
Do you reckon so? No, that's just my cheery, upbeat persona. I was having a terrible time. It's not a bad game at all. It does some very, very interesting things. It's just the movement is quite slick. The guns don't feel quite that satisfying to use. The level layout, it's got a lot of verticality. But I don't know. I find it just strangely difficult to track where everybody's going and where the combat is. It's probably just because we were absolutely terrible at the game. It's got a lot of nice things going on. Its big thing is obviously its integration with Twitch. So I don't know if do you remember the Darwin Project game?
No, I don't.
Never heard of that one.
It was a much smaller scale attempt at the same thing. So Darwin Project was, I think it was a 12-player battle royale, but it had the same. I'm going to say gimmick, not meaning that to be unfair, but it had the same gimmick where the Twitch audience could influence proceedings and trigger certain events. Darwin Project didn't last very long. It lasted probably less than a year before they ended up having to shut it down. This one's obviously already doing better in that you've both heard of it. So yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. It's an interesting idea, though.
It is. I think what I've been looking around at popular sentiment from streamers and stuff, and it seems to have really got its engagement in there, in the sense that it definitely has found its crowd. It does stand out from the rest of the battle royale crowd as well. It does a few things very interesting. Just the premise of it may sound like, yeah, it's like every other battle royale game, but the focus on movement and verticality, it's like Mirror's Edge, which is I think another Ubisoft game, and on crack. And the weapons are
not.
Is it not Ubisoft? No. Oh, no, okay, clearly don't know what I'm talking about.
But EA, wasn't
it? It is EA. Yeah.
Is EA? Okay, yeah. Yeah. So it's like Mirror's Edge mixed with like Tron, mixed with futuristic weapons, and you drop in pods like you do in most battle royale games. But it's quite unique. You should try it out. I personally didn't I struggled with the game. I just struggle with the weapons and weapon control. I just don't seem to be doing very well in it, so that's probably a reason why I'm not sucked into it just yet, because I'm so bad at it. But hopefully I can improve. So the Hyperscape's doing the rounds, and I really like that Twitch integration where the fans pick so one of three like popular game game modes in the game, so that they'll activate low gravity, and then instantly that changes. It activates low gravity. There's a pole. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool how they're integrating your viewership and allowing viewers to interact with the game. The second bit of the news, and I think Asa, you covered this in your roundup of the week. We did this the roundup of the week video. If you haven't seen it, check it out on our YouTube channel. Every Friday we upload a roundup of what's been happening in the gaming industry. And Crisis Remastered was featured in that. Crisis Remastered is something everyone was excited about because it's seen. Crisis is always regarded as a powerhouse gaming title that, when it first came out, was massively demanding on PCs. Now the remasters coming out would be. Oh, by the way, hi, Willie the man says hi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, William.
So yeah, you know him. So yeah, not better than calling him Willie. So Crisis Remastered came out, but people were not impressed with the way it looked because it got leaked, and basically what happened is the Ubisoft decided to delay it because the fan reception was so bad, which is pretty scathing to say the least. I saw the footage and I thought I didn't think it was any impressive at all, and I thought, is this really what the game's going to look like? So I'm not surprised about that. Did you guys manage to have a look at that Crisis footage?
Yeah, I mean, it's playing on the stream at the moment, the footage that was leaked, or I don't know if they actually got around to officially releasing it or not. They delayed it so quickly. I don't think it looks terrible. I think the character models let it down quite dramatically. Besides that, it's quite authentically Crisis. It seems to have the physics in order that were kind of so impressive in the original game. Obviously, that's a long time ago, so it shouldn't be impressive anymore. But for some reason, it still is. They have all of that intact. But yeah, you see the character models, and it looks very dated at that point.
I think the likes of Digital Foundry were really excited with this because they could then use this as like a technical benchmark for how the game performs in different platforms. They were vocal about their excitement for it. So it's a bit of a shame, and I don't know how much they can go back and change now. Like, how long is it delayed indefinitely until they rework the whole thing? What are they actually going to change?
I think there's a release date they've given out, but I'm not sure because I saw the Switch trailer, and obviously for a Switch game that looked pretty impressive to me. And although I was never a PC gamer, I know that Crisis is kind of, as you say, the benchmark to which a lot of FPS games are held, to compare them to. And I don't know. I agree with Asa. The character models look a bit odd, especially the lip syncing and animation. But graphically, it looks very impressive, and the Switch version looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit on the poor frame rate side, but otherwise, I don't know. It's probably going to be quite impressive. I think they've got time to fix it up if anything needs fixing.
Yeah, well, hopefully they sort that out because Crisis Remastered. I was definitely looking forward to it. We got Salik Rashid in the chat. Hey Salik, hope you're doing well. So hopefully that's looking good. Another game that got more of a reveal was Outriders, which is coming to next gen consoles as well as current gen consoles. So you know quite a bit about Outriders. So you covered the new Pyromancer class in the weekly video.
We did, yeah. I wouldn't say I know heaps about it. Obviously, the visually it looks like a cross between Gears of War and Destiny. The Gears heritage is fairly obvious because it's made by People Can Fly. They made Gears Judgment as well, so they have some very direct experience in making a Gears of War game. And it really shows in what we've seen of it so far. The trailer they showed this week, like you say, it talked a little bit about the side quests and things. The way they scale with the level was supposed to be impressive. That's not particularly impressive, but they did put some emphasis on the way that it tries to deliver an interesting story rather than just giving you fetch quests all the way through. So that's nice. Pyromancer class is a pyromancer. They just shoot fire everywhere. Things burn. You'd be surprised if a pyromancer did anything different, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it got a lot of interest because it was touting quite cleverly as itself as a next-gen title, which it should do. But it is a cross-gen title, and it does look it. Some bits have a bit of maybe perhaps next-gen flair, but it worked because it's on the radar of many people, including me. And as far as the game is concerned, it does look good. What it does seem to do better than Destiny, which is quite a direct comparison of it because of how similar the two games are. I think the story mode has a lot of potential. It looks quite interesting. The narrative might be a bit deeper. Safe, have you managed to? Do you know much about Outriders? Have you seen?
I've only seen the first couple of trailers, I think, and a little bit of gameplay. It does look pretty cool, but you know what? It reminds me of Warframe a bit. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when at Eurogamer Expo we went once, and I think I was with you that time, and we played Warframe for
yeah.
the first time. I think that was the first time I played a PS4, and I wasn't impressed at all because to me it felt like a very last gen kind of game, and it's probably a cross generational game anyway. But yeah, Outriders it smacks of that kind of cross gen. I don't want to say lazy. I'm sure the developers have tried their best, but I don't know.
It's not the
not
next gen.
particularly. Yeah, it's not the leap forward that I'm expecting from a next gen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm willing to reserve judgment until I get my hands on it myself, but not that interested at the moment in that.
Yeah, no, it might be a good game to jump in with your friends, and maybe it may surprise us with the story as well. I don't want to be overly critical of it. It does look promising, but
Yeah, it
it's
looks
going to
cool.
be, yeah, it does look cool. It's just very packed year as well with so many things. It's going to be vying for control of people's attention, which I don't envy the developers on that one.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an event. Well, we're going to have a few big events this month. One of them is on July the 21st, which is Ubisoft Forward, which is an event where they're showcasing
Just gonna
their latest.
slightly step in. That's not July the 21st. So the Xbox event is July the 21st. The Ubisoft
Is that
event is, I
confirmed?
think. Yeah, as far as I know, that's confirmed. The Ubisoft event is this week, isn't it? Or it's real soon.
Is it really Ubisoft Forward?
Ubisoft
Okay.
Forward, yeah. I don't know it's the 21st. I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm too busy to
Okay.
look it up.
Oh, sorry, it's July 12th. I could get my numbers wrong.
Mhm.
It's so yeah, you're right. July 12th, which is I was actually telling you the Sunday, not this Sunday coming, but the next Sunday, and they're going to show a few games. One of the games is supposed to be Far Cry 6. Which would be a very big title, and I really hope that's not cross-gen title. So I hope that gets.
I guess
My volume is quite.
we're double compensated there. Sorry. I pushed your volume up a little bit, so just go back to as you were. We'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah. So Far Cry 6. I hope it's going to be a fully next-gen title and not cross-gen one. There's going to be other titles as well that are going to be shown off. We'll finally see more of Watch Dogs Legion.
It's about time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about time. Hi Moby, thank you for joining the chat and letting me know my microphone is quite low. And yeah, Watch Dogs Legions is promising to do a lot. Whether it delivers, I don't know. If you guys remember, Watch Dogs Legions allows you to almost pick any character in like London. Like you just jump in and control a character. I think that's how it works. But it's so ambitious. It's almost destined to fail. If you take a pessimistic view of that, I don't know how they're going to do that. It's so good. I mean, I'm glad they're trying to aim at something that seems seemingly impossible. But what do you guys think, Asa? Do you think it's going to meet expectations?
You know, I like to be positive about all things. The Watch Dogs games,
Yeah.
I played the first one, and I got about 48 seconds into it and felt like I was controlling a slug or something. I just didn't enjoy the basic feel of it. I've not touched a Watch Dogs game since. I like the concept of this one. I've got the trailers playing at the moment. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not comfortable with seeing a version of London that has people in it. Look at them sitting so close together on the couch.
Yeah.
It's just
So unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Safe? I think you're a Watch Dogs fan, no?
I wouldn't say a fan. I did have the first game. I never got around to finishing it for whatever reason. I think this looks very ambitious, very, very interesting. and to have a game set in London, I don't think we've seen one since The Getaway on the PS2. So I'd like to play a virtual version of my city. It'd be quite fun.
Yeah, in an open
Having
world
said
game.
that, though, my only concern is that it's going to suffer from Ubisoft syndrome, which is you open up the map and you're going to be bombarded with icons and side quests. And to be
Yeah,
honest with you, ain't nobody got time for that. That's just too much. It's too much of a hassle.
The
yeah,
trivia
yeah.
challenge for anyone watching there: other games that have been set in London since The Getaway.
Oh, give
I'm
us
sure
some.
there are.
There must be. There must be. Yeah, I don't know.
There must be.
Yeah, but not many open world games like that. Being able to see like London, I can't think of anything on top of my head. The thing I thought about when you said that was Call of Duty, the latest one.
Oh,
We had
that's true. Yeah, good point. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
But
the order. Don't forget the order. 1886 Game of the Year.
oh yeah, I try and forget, purge myself from that game. But so yeah, I mean, I hope that's a cross-gen title. I'm sure they haven't announced as cross-gen, but I'm pretty sure that they will.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely will be. They'll double dip. I'm sure they will. Makes sense. Speaking of which, that leads on to the next topic quite well. Is the prices of next-gen games increasing? And it's not good news. The PS5 version of NBA 2K21 is going to be $10 more than the current gen version. So that's like, what is it, 50 quid for a game? That's now going to be 60 quid for next gen games. And if that's a sign for, and there's industry chatter about this now, that next gen games will cost more. And I don't know how. I imagine that's not going to be received well, and I think there's a chance that might be industry standard. But for me, that's like more of a reason to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass and services like that, because they immediately become more more enticing. Where once you've swallowed this price hike, what do you guys think? Do you think that's a bit too much? Do you think it's justified with the industry prices, or do you think games cost too much already? What do you think, Asa?
Wow, that's a difficult one. It's been a long time in the works anyway. A long time coming. Speculation that people would like to see some flex in the prices, but not necessarily. So not on top of the microtransactions that we already have. And that's the kicker, is I don't think people want the price to go up and to keep on spending on every little thing within the game. They kind of want the industry to pick an option, put the price up a little bit if you must, but then stop charging us for clothes.
Yeah.
Doing both.
100% agree.
Yeah, you agree with that, Safe?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a very good point. I mean, the game's prices have fluctuated over the years and over generations. I remember back in the N64 days, a limited edition game would be 50, sometimes £60. And then during the 360 PS3 era, most games were about £40 to £45.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's based on the economy or whatever, I'm not sure. But yeah, that price hike seems a bit much, especially if they're going to continue this trend of microtransactions. Something has to change. They need to get rid of that idea. It's leaving a lot of people unhappy. So yeah,
I think this free to play model it seems, I know certain genres that can only have free to play, but they seem to be a big money maker, because if people like me end up spending a lot more than the base game value for paying for these cosmetic extras. But you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have both ways. You can't have a lot of the content chopped up and relegated to DLC that you have to pay for, and then charge us another 10 quid extra on top of.
You say that, you're not going to boycott games if they do both. You just keep on spending.
I want to keep spending. We're hooked to this. We haven't got a choice. But I think in gamers as a whole, if they rally together, they'll probably very quickly make their views known, and I don't think they'll accept that. But then another topic that came about with this is, if something like NBA 2K21 is going to be 10 quid more, and it doesn't, on the PlayStation 5 version was explicitly confirmed as that. And because PlayStation doesn't support Smart Play, which is something Xbox Series X, well, that's the term. That's
Smart delivery.
Smart delivery, sorry. So smart delivery, basically, for those who don't know, if you buy an Xbox One version of the game, you'll get a free upgrade to the next gen Series X version of it for free. Not all games will support that because it's up to the publishers or the third-party publishers to allow that to happen. But it's interesting that the PlayStation 5 version of that was, of course, singled out as costing more and possibly not benefiting from something like smart delivery, which will get a lot of people wound up. But we'll see how that develops. Again, it's a bit speculative.
I doubt many people remember this at all, but when the PlayStation 4 came out, there was a little bit of a fuss because EA games, at least in the UK, were more expensive than their Xbox equivalent. Sony stepped in and corrected it pretty quickly. It was all to do with the way their kind of matrices are priced up at the back end. They had slightly different bands, and it worked out 3 or 4 quid extra to buy the same game on the PlayStation. I'm sure if they get some negative publicity, particularly at the launch of the PlayStation 5, then they'll address it pretty quickly. At the same time, PlayStation and Xbox games have gradually gone up in price as this generation's gone on. So with a little subtlety, they'll get it where they want it to.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I agree with that because if you look at people like EA Games, for example, especially with the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2, there was such a big criticism of the game itself because it was lacking in content, and they listened to the fans. They were going on forums and they actually updated the game and patched it and tailored it to the fans' expectations, and it became a very good game in the end. There's no reason to believe that this can't be the same for pricing. For example, I've started playing a lot more downloads. I digitally download my games rather than buying physical copies. But the prices on PSN Store and on Xbox Live usually are far too expensive. In my opinion, they're a good £10 more than the physical copy. So that's another thing they should look into. A lot more people are going to be moving towards digital downloads instead of physical, and pricing needs to reflect that as well because I think it's just too much at the moment.
That's a very good point about people moving on to the digital, environment more. Especially when you've got the PlayStation 5 all digital version. The idea, I'm sure Sony definitely thought about the fact that they're going to get a bigger chunk of profits with people purchasing directly their digital versions. Why digital versions cost more than physical ones? That needs to change because strictly speaking, shouldn't that just be cheaper than the costs associated with printing out physical ones? So that really needs to change. And apparently the rumored Xbox Lockhart the Series S, as it's rumored to be called, is also all digital. It may not be, but if it's all digital as well, then just a big reason why the industry needs to reconsider its pricing policy on digital games. That's a good point that you raised there. So let's see how that pans out. Just a quick mention, and we mentioned this last week because it was big news at the time. Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch, which is one of the biggest Twitch streamers. 1 week on, we still haven't heard anything, and a lot of people are saying that that's just some serious business. I don't know what's happening there, but it's interesting to know that we're talking about this last week and nothing's developed. And it's pretty. The longer this goes on for, the more serious that it sounds like. That's quite serious. Rumors are now suggesting that perhaps he was looking to set up his own competitive, streaming service. But we'll keep you updated as that develops. But I'm pretty sure that's going to make a hit the news in a big way once it's finally revealed. Speaking of, I mentioned the Xbox Series S earlier. We're hearing more and more rumors now of the power of the thing, and apparently it's no slouch. Again, take this with a pinch of salt, but we've got some sources suggesting that the Xbox Series S is rumored to have the same, I think, CPU as the Xbox Series X. So if you didn't know, there are 2 versions of the Xbox, the next-gen consoles. One, obviously the Xbox Series X, which will be the most powerful next-gen console out there, and then you'll have a less powerful one, rumored to be around 4 teraflops, which is 2 teraflops lower than the Xbox One X, but that don't see that as a weaker console. It's most definitely more stronger than the current gen consoles, thanks to the RDNA 2. But what's surprising is that it'll sport the same CPU as the Xbox Series X. And Asa, you're the more technical person, but am I correct in stating that if that's the case, then doesn't that make even the Xbox Series S a little bit more powerful on the CPU side than the PlayStation 5?
Let's see. The to a trivial degree, the CPU. I think the important thing on the CPU is that both the PS5 and the Series X, and now if the rumors are to be believed, the Series S as well, are all in the same ballpark, and they are leaps and bounds better than anything we've got on current gen, which is important because the CPU functions of a game are way less scalable than the things you would associate with the graphics card or the GPU. So it needs to be on the same level so that it's not holding back the design of the games that we're going to see. Same for the storage solution. So it's going to need to have similar or enough speed that games can be designed for a good console. Again, there's some subtleties there because the storage solution does play into graphics a little more in terms of texture sizes and things like that. But on a basic level, the CPU being what it is, so within touching distance of the Series X, I'd say it's also both of those are CPU-wise within touching distance of the PS5. It means that our games can take the leap forward that we all want to see.
That's gonna be interesting. A lot of people are saying that it's gonna hold back next-gen games, but I don't think that's correct.
No, I wouldn't think so at all. As long as it's got those core components that kind of set the parameters and the limits of the game design, then yeah, you can have a 1080p version of the same game that plays in exactly the same way, does exactly the same things, and that's what we need to see.
That's actually a really clever move, because I would buy both. I would buy the Xbox Series X for obviously the larger 4K TV, and then for the 1080 TV like in your bedroom or something. That would appeal to me to buy one. I don't know, Safe, would you get a Series S, like one that doesn't focus, that's forsakes 4K for 1080p maybe, but has the same kind of frame rate and stuff? Do you see any value in?
I might consider that. But I mean, as long as it plays the games, as you say, just the same way as the superior version of the console, I would more likely go for the superior version, the more powerful version, if I have the means to enjoy it. So if I've got the proper TV and everything else, so you can actually enjoy that game, then why not? But if you don't have those means, if you've got a smaller TV or a 1080p resolution, and that's your max, then why not go for the cheaper option if it is cheaper and if it plays the same way? As long as the frame rate is there and it looks okay, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting you mentioned frame rate, which is I was going on to my next topic. Dirt 5, which is a racer that's confirmed to be 120 frames on Xbox Series X, is now, according to official PlayStation magazine, going to be 120 frames on the PlayStation 5 as well, which is great news. I was going to ask you guys, a lot of gamers, or at least the core gaming community that are really excited about next gen consoles, have been saying that really the big clincher for them, the big expectation that they want as standard is frame rate. That they don't want games to be locked at 30. They want 60 frames per second as standard. Safe, I think I'd ask you, what do you think about that? Is that the same? Like, do you think, do you expect, or do you wish, or do you believe that you can't really go beyond 60, like below 60? That should be the industry standard for next gen titles.
I think at this point now, with the way that console gaming and PC gaming is going, I think it's only fair to want games to run at 60 frames per second as standard. Games that run at 30 frames are fine, but I think the majority of hardcore gamers, at least, are more concerned with a very decent frame rate rather than resolution or graphics. And I mean, that can make or break a game, especially, let's take, for example, a From Software game. Frame rate is vitally important to enjoy that. If it starts lagging, it's going to spoil everything. So I think at this point, 60 frames minimum for the next generation console should be standard. There's no excuse not to go lower than that really now.
It's a pretty interesting choice of example though, the From Software games. Most of those have been 30, and if you do then go from a From Software game on the PS4 at 30 frames per second, you go onto the PC and you play it at 60, and it is a night and day difference.
I was under the impression Bloodborne at least was 60. Maybe I'm wrong, sorry.
Oh, that's barely hitting 30 at some points when I played it on PlayStation 4. It had really choppy. It sometimes struggled, and it was like sub 20. I remember like there's a couple of, like, I think there was the Great Unborn was one of the bosses, and it chucked to singular figures. I think I reviewed it quite many years ago when it first came out, and yeah, it did suffer, and definitely wasn't 60. I wish it was.
Oh, mine was silky smooth. I don't know what happened to yours.
I have no idea, but unlike Ace, I actually managed to complete the game and go past beyond the fireplace scene right at the start of the game. So it didn't stop me from completing it. But yeah, to me personally, I think frame rate is key. I think someone that I know of always says, "Why do you guys bang on about frame rate? It's not like you can tell the difference." But there's a night and day difference, and for me, I would be disappointed. I'll accept the one or two, like exceptions to the rule where they're really pushing the graphics, really pushing, I don't know, physics on screen, or they're going for a particular vision that demands that, that it does run on 30. Fine.
Quantic Dream will probably still stick to 30. A game like Detroit, that's really just pushing cinematic and doesn't need to be particularly responsive. Fill your boots, it's fine.
Yeah, it could work for some games, I think. So it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, the Switch, you don't get games at 60 frames per second quite often, but they play perfectly fine, I guess, because it plays to its strengths, the console strengths, But yeah, for the next gen consoles, I think it's only fair to demand 60 frames or more, more or less that number as standard.
Yeah. Moby says apparently xCloud will play a big part in the Xbox Series S.
It's just an interesting one, particularly when you consider the one thing the Series S is rumored to miss, besides resolution, is the ray tracing. If they start moving some of this into the cloud, not in the speculative, partly rendered in the cloud kind of way, but actually streaming from the cloud, then you could have the Series S at home, and you could be streaming a game that's effectively running on a Series X in the cloud. So you would get the benefits of ray tracing like that. Still in your lower resolution, because that's probably console can probably output more, but you can mix and match and start seeing how that would be effective for some people that want some of those extra bells and whistles as well.
Wouldn't that be the same for anyone using xCloud on any device, like on a mobile? Would they not get the benefits of ray tracing on that? Or is it...
Yeah, for sure. But in terms of the limitations of the hardware, the ray tracing being one of them, actually you could still benefit if you are using xCloud. So if that is part of the strategy, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, Moby doesn't want that to be part of. He goes, hopefully it's not what they promised with Xbox Xbox One Cloud.
Crackdown 3 there.
yeah, God. Yeah, I was one of those who really was so excited for Crackdown 3 and the cloud tech. What they showed off and what the game eventually being is just so disappointing. I was so disappointed in how. I mean, that could have been a game changer, and I hope there's some scope in that tech, because that seems the way forward. Because you're doing those kind of calculations locally, unless you build some like rendering or some kind of physics tech that does it, it doesn't seem like there's any other way than doing it in the cloud. But the fact that Crackdown failed, to me, is such a bitter pill to swallow. So I agree with you, Moby. I hope xCloud is very different on next gen. And the power of the cloud is realized properly. I have used xCloud. I don't know if you guys have. I've done it on my mobile. I bought a Razer Jungle Cat, which is like makes your phone turn into look like a Nintendo Switch basically, and it worked not super well, but it definitely needs room for improvement. And there's scope for Project xCloud, but I hope it's better than whatever the hell the power of the cloud was doing this gen. So yeah, that's an interesting one, Moby. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so another bit of news: Horizon Zero Dawn has a release date now, and it's set in August. Now, which is great news because more people can get to play Horizon Zero Dawn. But um, it's just I've been looking at fan reactions, and for some reason, a lot of the vocal fanboys are really angry about the fact that Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC. It's almost seen as a betrayal to them. Like, why is it coming? I still don't get that mentality. Why is your enjoyment of a game contingent upon other people enjoying it? Surely it's good. I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you think that am I not seeing something correctly here? Is there an argument there that hold on?
To be honest, I actually really liked Horizon when I played it when it came out. It's a really good game to me, but I feel like someone travelled back in time and stabbed me in the back, and I don't at all. I don't get the mentality at all. It's not taking anything away from my experience, and I'm actually thinking may even play through it again on the PC because I did enjoy it. So.
Yeah. What about you, Safe? Do you think there's a value in just keeping games walled in on a console indefinitely?
I think console exclusives are a nice idea, but if more people get to enjoy the game, then let them enjoy it. Why not? It gets more people talking about it, and we share the love. Basically, shouldn't have to hog everything, all the good stuff on a console or a PC. So the more people play it, the better. And it's a fantastic game, so everyone deserves to experience it. It's really brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. I think Sony's strategy is a bit better in that sense. Better not for them, not for gamers, in the sense that they are not committed to day one PC releases of their games, whereas Xbox have to, or they've laid out the policy that they will do that. Which is funny because games like I think Gears Tactics, they've come out on PC but not on console. So the other way around, they can deprive the console version for a little bit longer. But the other way, they can't really do that with PC. Or they've said that in the future you might see console exclusives, but they're going to move away from that. Whereas with Sony's exclusivity, they can have the best of both worlds. They can have their PC, PS4, PS5 console exclusive, and then release it, an undisclosed time later on down the year. So fans who can't really wait or have no guarantee that will come out on PC will buy the PlayStation 5 or have more of a reason to buy the PlayStation 5 console, whereas Xbox Series X, do you get that, or do you build a really powerful PC? Because if you do, then strictly speaking, you might not need an Xbox Series X, or you won't need an Xbox Series X. Although the equivalent PC that is as powerful as Xbox Series X is going to cost you a lot of money. I don't even know if you can even build one now. Can you, Acer, build one in any respectable budget?
What are you talking about? Of course you can build a PC. What? I don't understand the question.
No, as in with a respectable budget, like the equivalent Xbox Series X.
No, not even close at the moment. Not even close. When so a bit later on this year, when AMD start releasing their ray tracing enabled hardware, which doesn't actually exist at the moment in the PC space, when they start releasing that, then we'll talk about equivalent prices and things. But at the moment, your only option to even touch on the hardware would be to go to the NVIDIA RTX line. Price-wise, you're not going to get close to a console for a whole PC right now. So
yeah, true. That's true.
It's an exciting year for consoles. So
yeah, definitely, it's finally happened where the PC is almost catching up with consoles. It will do immediately as soon as they're launched, but still, it's just a far cry from what happened this gen, where the consoles, Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, were immediately underpowered compared to their PC brethren or thereabout. Speaking of the PC space and console space, slightly different, but VR space. Iron Man VR came out, and the reviews came out, and they're pretty positive. Yet no one talks about it, and not that I know we covered it in our weekly recap, which the video came out Friday, but It's got decent reviews, yet no one's talking about VR. And with PlayStation 5 supporting PSVR, and I know Asa, you're slightly biased because you love VR, but do you really think next gen? I mean, next gen will see, VR bloom, or are we like, is it stagnating or is it dying? Is it a fad? What do you think about
It's
VR?
not a fad. I'm not sure it's going to explode. I'm not sure it'll ever explode until there's some radical advances to the technology. I think if it stays where it is at the moment, hopefully slightly bigger, but it just needs to be big enough to sustain some development in some games. And at the moment, it looks like it is. Oculus are still hoovering up studios. They bought Ready at Dawn a week or two back. That came about. So they obviously make your favourite game, The Order 1886, but also the Lone Echo games, which are some of the bigger
Which I haven't
ones.
tried. Have you tried Lone Echo?
I've tried it. I didn't get too far in it yet because I was not using a Rift and it didn't port across very well. So the problem in the VR space is a lot of the investment going on there is from Oculus, so Facebook, and they don't strictly stop other people from using their games, but they don't make it particularly easy. You have to use some third-party software, which is a bit of a shame because some of the biggest and most appealing releases require Facebook hardware, and I don't know about you, but I'm not keen on the idea.
Yeah, no, neither am I. Yeah. What about you, Safe? Do you see value in VR? Are you interested in VR, and do you think it has a future?
Yeah, definitely. I've got VR for PlayStation, and I agree with what Asa was saying, that it's down to the technology improving, because it does feel like a bit of a fad. I've barely played my VR. I've only got a handful of games that I enjoyed. Resident Evil 7 being the main one. I played that from beginning to end in VR, and I changed my pants a couple of times. But I think there's definitely room for improvement with VR, and it can be a big thing. But they just need to make it more accessible. It's just too clunky, especially the PlayStation one anyway. Too many wires. It's too clunky. It's very uncomfortable. If they improve the technology and the resolution as well, because the textures are really poor when you watch things in VR on PlayStation anyway. If they improve all of that, there's definitely a chance for it to blossom, to bloom in the next generation. And I'm excited to see what they do with VR for PS5. I mean, the camera's there, so why not everything else?
Yeah,
And give us some cheaper motion controllers, please. I mean, I don't have any because they're so expensive.
Oh yeah,
I play with a regular controller. It's ridiculous.
How much are they
so
now?
expensive.
How much are they going for now? They're really...
Last time I checked, even second hand, I think they were like 60-70 pounds each.
Wow.
That's the last time I checked. That was like a couple of years ago. I don't know what it's like now, but it's another reason for inaccessibility. Just make things a bit more easier to deal with, and you'll see VR on consoles go, right into the future. And it's definitely lots of potential there.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's what stops me. I wanted to get a PSVR headset, but the thought of all those wires. And even with my PC VR headset, I know it's like there's one big wire. That thick wire puts me off so much, and the amount of times I wrap myself around that thing. It needs to be completely wireless solution, a bit like the Quest. But
that's the ideal one. But it feels like you're plugged into the Matrix when you put that thing on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you need to. I'll always maintain VR as the future of gaming. That's the zen of innovation, zen of immersion in games. And VR is the future. It just needs to, like you say, be more accessible, have less barriers. Biggest barrier of entry for a lot of people is obviously the cost as well, because these things aren't cheap. And I think the technology will improve when they improve the field of vision as well. But that would be a big one for me. And also the resolution is still, even on my PC version, is a bit blurry. But I get jealous thinking that I'll be playing something like Star Wars Squadrons on a flat screen, whereas Asa will be playing on a VR headset. And that's a game where he could, if it's clear and it works well, he could have a massive advantage over other people. And just being able to be inside.
Massive advantage. I'll be having a massively better time. That's what matters. Advantage or not.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. You will as well. I think even the VR games I played, I've just been shocked at how when I first put it on, I was shocked. I think it was around yours, Asa, when I tried my first VR game, and I was just completely blown away by how immersive that was. I did not expect that.
And that was the original Oculus Rift, so they have moved on a long way in that time. But...
Yeah, definitely.
Also, something to consider. Sorry, just wanted to mention something.
Yeah.
When you're playing VR, especially if a first-person game, if you consider your head movement as faster than potentially a keyboard and mouse, it kind of makes that almost obsolete. So imagine playing a first-person shooter where your aiming is determined by how fast you're looking around.
And how much you can creep in as well, so you can kind of creep out and look.
Yeah,
around.
there's lots of potential, but you don't want to creep around and then crash into your desk or something.
You're breaking my heart, Safe, because I can tell here that you've not played with proper motion controllers. There are some first-person shooters that you aim by looking around, and it is deadly accurate because people have pretty good control of their heads. But it's 10 times more fun if you've got the pretend guns and you're aiming with your hands.
I know. I'd love to play with the proper motion controllers, but unfortunately, I'm on a budget, so it's DualShock for now, and very, very slow turning and inverted y-axis. Usual.
Inverted y. Oh, you're that kind of guy. Wow.
Yes, I'm that guy.
Yeah, you are that guy. That's crazy. I bet you like pineapple on your pizza as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I knew it. That makes sense. I think there are massive advantages already. Like I mentioned, the cockpit thing. For me, I think, and I mentioned it in our video, that with Rogue Squadrons, if you can look around your cockpit, that's be so cool. Because spatial awareness is absolutely key in games like that. Jatish Patel, hi Jat, how are you? He's left a comment saying Oculus Quest will bring VR to the masses. Well, Quest has been out for some time now. It hasn't brought it to the masses.
It's been sold out the entire time since it's been released, I think.
Really?
Yes,
wow.
It's selling.
Unless they've churned out 5 versions of it or what?
No, there's been the same 2 versions the whole time, and unless Facebook are very deliberately constraining supply, which I don't think they are, it's basically been selling through.
Ah, okay, that's really impressive. I did not know that. I really do want to get a Quest. Again, it's quite expensive. It's like 400 quid for it, and it's and the visuals, I think it's more like a mobile.
Well,
kind of...
it's got a reasonable screen. It's got a higher resolution screen than anything that you've tried so far. Visually, there's certain games. Obviously, it's running on effectively mobile hardware. So visually, the games are not going to be all that impressive, except as of 6 months ago or so, you can use it as a PC headset as well, so you can connect it up and play your whole Steam library if you want.
Oh yeah.
And there's a bit of compression there, but it's supposed to look near enough like playing a PC headset when you do that. So, as a best of both worlds kind of thing, it's a contender. It's a worthwhile one to have a look at.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Jat says it's hard to get a hold of one. I think it's because of the lockdown as well. That'd be interesting if people are looking to escape to their digital virtual holiday destinations using VR headsets. I'm sure that's probably attributed to the headset selling out. Another game we actually saw, the next gen game that we were revealed for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. It's called Recompile. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this properly. Recompile.
Recompile, yeah. Yes.
Have you seen that, Safe? Have you seen the
I may have, but I probably need to see a trailer again just to remind me.
If you could bring that up on screen, that'd be cool. I know, sorry, there's no pressure. But
Bang.
Yeah, Recompile looks really cool. I don't know if it strikes you as a next gen game. I'm pretty sure this could run on Xbox, the current gen consoles. Yeah, but I don't know if it can run as smooth as it does, but it looks really cool. It reminds me of a bit like Resogun, but mixed with Ori, mixed with Tron, mixed with some other stuff.
Power Stone, yeah, I know. Everything.
I like that.
Power Stone.
Also said Metroidvania gameplay, so that's right up my street.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a recent Convert Metroidvania gameplay. Ori, I think Ori falls in that category.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Ori 2 just wowed me. It's probably my contender for Game of the Year.
Oh, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, really? Oh, if
Yeah,
you
it's
did you
on my
have you
list.
played the first one?
I finished it. Well, it's the first game I finished in lockdown. Out of like, I had a list of games I was determined to finish. So that was the first one I played, apart from Doom Eternal. And I
Oh yeah.
really enjoyed Ori. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to playing the second one.
Oh yeah. I think you'll really enjoy it. I think Asa didn't. Uh,
Again, I don't like to be negative. I played Ori.
but everyone's got different
Sim-
tastes. It's all good.
Very similar to Safe State. Like I hadn't played it. I'd heard of it and had it on my backlog for a while. And then when the sequel was coming out, I decided, right, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to play this. I downloaded both games so I could play them in sequence. I got a fair way through the first one, but it just didn't grip me at all.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
once
sure
you
what the fuss
get,
was all about.
I think the second game's pacing. Yeah, I think the pacing may be an issue, and the second game's pacing will be is much better. If you say, especially safe, if you enjoyed the first one, yeah, to me the second one is so much better than the.
Oh wow! Well,
And it's
definitely looking forward to that. Then.
yeah, definitely. And then it's funny that you mentioned Doom Eternal. I think it's a close one so far. I know the year's not over yet; we're halfway there, but so far, I would say Doom Eternal and Ori 2 are like my Game of the Year contenders. But there's a fair bit to come out this year, so that's that. I think Valorant comes close. So we did a video on Valorant. If you haven't checked it, check out our YouTube channel. Just type in GameOnDaily on YouTube, you can find it. And we did a video why Valorant is good, and it's such a good game. It's been a month now since it released. Safe. Do you? I know you don't play on PC. Are you a massive like online competitive gamer? Does something like Valorant appeal to you? And have
I don't
you
know.
played?
I don't know too much about that game actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But
I thought you might
I'm
know.
more of a single player campaign.
Dude,
That's why I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the last 12 years or something. It feels like anyway. But I'm loving it. So I much prefer single player experiences. I do like online modes, but I don't like the ones that take up too much of your time. I don't play MMOs or anything like that, or usually
yeah.
battle royales. It's things like that. If it's got a multiplayer component, I don't mind jumping in every now and then.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
Um,
I think I'm complete opposite to you in the sense that I'm more of a multiplayer centric guy. I like my single player games, but they're not too long. Like The Witcher for me is a bit too long. But then I
Still
think
haven't finished that.
I still haven't finished that, and I started on the Xbox version. Then I switched to the Switch, no pun intended, Switch version, and I got further on that one. But the
Yeah,
game is
that's what I've been playing.
huge. Yeah, it's
It's massive,
huge.
absolutely huge, yeah. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is likewise humongous. And the thing about it is that I think it's probably the most technically impressive game I've ever played. It's just so much detail,
I need
so
to
much
play that.
effort went into it. But it's not for everyone because some of the criticisms it's got is that it's very slow paced. And I do get that, but once you give it a chance, if you like that kind of thing, you will really, really enjoy it. So it just needs a bit of a chance, really.
I think if with games like The Witcher and with Red Dead, for me, if I really sink myself into it, if I really dive into it and like just binge on it, then I can really get hooked. But I just don't have like the time with these things. And I think that, in fact, this week, there was some controversy around. I think Jason Schreier, he used to work for Kotaku. He tweeted out saying, the games are too long; they need to be shorter. And he was kind of referencing The Last of Us 2, which I haven't started playing yet, but I hear from
No
people I
spoilers,
know.
please.
No, I haven't played it, so I can't
No
spoil
spoilers.
it. In fact, actually, I was going to talk about a controversy about death threats on one of the voice actors, but I think that leads to spoiler territory, so I won't say it.
No
What the
spoilers.
are. So, but I just there are no spoilers of The Last of Us 2, but apparently the ending may drag a bit, and the people are saying like, it's a long game, and a game like The Last of Us I can forgive because you wait so long for that game that it can be a bit longer, but that sparked a bit of controversy, whereas one reporter, Jason Schreier, I don't know how you pronounce his name, said that that games are too long. And then I think Troy Baker, he's a prominent voice actor in the industry, said got really defensive over it. and I actually agree with Shreya, but only because I don't have time for games like that. But saying that, Cyberpunk, I want that game to be as long as possible because I waited God knows how long for that, and I want to be sucked into that world. Like I want longer games. There's a definite talking point about the length of games, and in this day and age, especially if you're shelling out more 10 quid more now for games, then
You want your
perhaps,
money's worth. You want your money's worth.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, length of time in a game doesn't equate to quality as well. Like some games can really drag. Some of the shortest games I've played have been so much fun. Like I think it was the game Inside, that indie game. It was so good. I think Doom Eternal. I think it was a bit too short. I say it was a bit. It's a decent length game, but I did it in one sitting. I completed Doom Eternal in one sitting because I was so hooked.
Wow.
I was so hooked, and that's dedication. And it was on the second hardest difficulty, so don't even accuse me of playing on easy.
Very impressive.
Thank you, Safe. Your validation means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Especially after I beat you on Smash Bros. Oh, by the way, Safe, we're hoping to stream some Nintendo games. We're going to be streaming Smash Brothers very soon, so stay tuned because part of this gaming section later on we'll be playing some games very soon, which will be Sea of Thieves, which hopefully yours is downloaded now, Safe, so we can all jump in.
Yeah, mine's ready.
I hope mine's too, because I don't know, for some reason it got deleted and I had to reinstall it. But Safe, funnily enough, Asa has never played Sea of Thieves, so it's going to be very interesting to have a newbie on manning our ship, or not manning it, but perhaps you can just like get a bucket and just chuck the water out off the ship.
That sounds good. I'm not even sure what the game's about, but I like pirates, so let's do it.
Yeah. Isla's left comment saying she's loving The Last of Us 2, no spoilers.
Thank you so much.
I've had it spoiled for me, but I can't wait. People I've known who played it said that they've all said it's amazing. It has some weaknesses and plot points apparently, but it's a really good game. One final bit of news there, and again it's a bit more speculation, is that Halo Infinite, like God of War, may have a one-shot camera.
Oh, who gives a shit?
I give a shit. I give a shit because
I kind of give a shit.
I really give a shit because God of War did it so well. I really like the cinematic value of that. I think with Halo Infinite being a first-person shooter, it's slightly easier to do. But again,
I'd say the opposite.
Well, Half-Life kind of did it, but then it didn't even have any cutscenes, so that in that way it's easier. With Halo,
to me, that's the least interesting bit of information about the game. Like I'm enthusiastic for it. I want to play the game. It's how they deliver the cutscenes, whether the camera pans out of your helmet or not. I don't give a shit at this point.
No, I think it'll have you have to frame your narrative around that camera, and I think it has a massive impact on the narrative. So, Safe, please agree with me. One shot.
I'm with you on this one. I really loved God of War and what they did. With Halo, I'm hoping that it's going to be a return to form because the last couple of games were just quite disappointing for me. I think the original developer Bungie, their plan was for you, like the Master Chief was meant to be an avatar for the player, so that's why he doesn't talk that much.
That's an interesting one.
So yeah, the story revolves around him. I know the Master Chief as a character, and he's got his own personality and everything from the novels and comic books. And I used to be really, really into Halo. However, for the gamer, they have to put themselves in the shoes of the character, of the protagonist that they're playing as, and having a system like that can be quite effective. So yeah, it's hopefully executes well.
You're right. So they did. They very deliberately with the Halo games. They kept him more or less silent for a long time and said, if you want to know more information about the character, it's available in the books. So he does have writing behind him. There is a character there, but if you want to, as a player, the majority of players aren't going to delve into the extra lore. So, like you say, they want to project themselves into that character, and they allowed for that by not having them speak very much. But single camera or not, I mean, it depends what the story is. If it suits it, great. If it doesn't, great. I don't care.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right, Asa, in that's the probably the least most important thing about the new Halo game. I mean, I'm not too bothered about the camera as long as the story and the game is good. That's more important.
Yeah, absolutely. I can attest to that. I was so bitterly disappointed with Halo 5's campaign. No amount of single shot camera would have saved that kind of shit story narrative. It was really bad. It was so bad. I couldn't believe it. Like, how could you go and ruin it? I think having faith in 343 with Halo 4, they actually delivered a really good story, in my opinion. Although I feel sorry for the people who didn't read the books, because the game almost required you to read Greg Bear's really brilliant books.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah,
Oh, wow, you've actually read. Oh,
I've read most books. The Forerunner trilogy. Are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Amazing. They're actually, you know what? Even if you're not a Halo fan, as a sci-fi fan, that is some of the best writing you'll ever find.
It's very deep sci-fi, very
deep,
heavy sci-fi.
Yeah,
you get lost into
almost hard sci-fi, which is a subgenre, like Rendezvous with Rama and things like that. So I strongly recommend it. Those are really good books, and they really build up the lore of Halo, which is one of my favorite backstories in any universe or any game or whatever it is. And I used to really love Halo, so I'm really hoping that this one delivers.
Yeah, I really hope so too. Those books showed that the potential for a Halo story, and it may not sound it, like if you've just played the games and you go, and complete fairness to you, why should you have to read the books to understand or appreciate the value of a Halo story? But what those books showed was that Halo's has so much potential, infinite potential, which is probably why they've called it Halo Infinite.
I see what you did.
Or it could be infinitely shit there, but no, I hope so too, because this is going to be the last game in the new trilogy. Where does that leave Master Chief? Will he finally die? Can Master Chief even die? Can Microsoft allow Master Chief to die? I think so, yes. Because I think you can. I think you can, and maybe hand over the torch to someone else. What the infinite has to mean something in the game. So and apparently they had the story for the game, or for the trilogy, mapped out way in advance. So whether they've made some adjustments to that, I don't know. After the Halo 5,
I just assumed that the infinite was the amount that you can spend on rec packs.
Oh man, listen, it wasn't that much. Okay, it was pretty bad. That I spent
complete distraction from there. I've got a couple of things going on in the chat. I've got Xbox in my veins has jumped on. It said that you can't find any games on Xbox for disintegration at the moment, so that's not looking good after about 2 weeks of launch. But...
Hamim the gamer's there as well. It says, "Hi, it's Hamim, bros." Hamim, hi Hamim.
Hi Hamim.
How are you? Thank you for joining the stream, and I hope you haven't missed too much. We're talking about Halo and why we're praying it's going to be good. I hope you're a Halo fan. If you're not, it's not a problem. Then another game I wanted to talk about was Crash Bandicoot 4. I know we talked about it last week. Safe, I always wondered this. Are you a big Crash Bandicoot fan? Because I think you're a big Nintendo fan as well. And then I think, do Nintendo fans who are spoilt by the quality of platformers on that console even have time for some possibly viewed as inferior platformers like Crash? Very controversial.
You know what? Back in the old days, Crash Bandicoot was the PlayStation mascot, and back in those days, I was I had a PlayStation, but I was firmly a Nintendo fanboy, and so for me, Crash Bandicoot was the young upstart who's rebelling against the master race that is Super Mario and his games. But actually, Crash Bandicoot games are a lot of fun. The remaster trilogy, I played them briefly, very good. I've got the first game on my phone. using nefarious means. And yeah, number 4 should be good. It looks really fun, really nice and colorful. And PlayStation had quite a lot of good platform games, Klonoa and Ratchet and Clank and things like that. So there's plenty of space for decent platform games that can rival some of the best that Nintendo has to offer. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, there are quite a few, fair few platformers coming out for the PlayStation 5. They had in the reveal event. Oh, Xbox in my veins goes, oh, no introduction, say hello to me. I see how it is. No, Xbox in your veins. We don't know what your name is because you call yourself Xbox in my veins. So it's hard to,
Maybe that's his name.
to address you. Maybe that isn't his name.
It's 21st
Isla
century,
says,
man.
oh,
You
no,
can identify what you want.
yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. But going back to platformers, I think Isla says Klonoa
Shit.
Heart.
You know about Klonoa. You know it.
Yeah. And then the PlayStation 5 has got a lot of heavyweight titles. Well, possibly, hopefully they're really good. But games like Astrobot is now a platformer coming to PlayStation 5. You've got Kana. Kana? I don't know how to pronounce
Oh,
this.
that looks fantastic.
Kana looks good, and I think so that featured in this week's recap on GameOnDaily recap. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Check out the video. Came out yesterday, and in that video we talked about how we've got more information coming out for that game, and that looks really good. In fact, to me, that was one of the better looking next gen titles, even though it's a cross gen title. It's coming out for PC, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Yeah. So I was surprised by that because it definitely looks really impressive. Well, what they
looks
showed,
beautiful. It looks like a Pixar movie or something amazing.
it does, doesn't it? And that's what shocked me that this was coming out on PS4. Obviously, I hope I think Ace is playing that now. I hope that looks as good as it does in game. But what they showed was in game gameplay, and I think that was PlayStation 5 gameplay. But that looks amazing.
Incredible.
So you've got that was probably came in my second of the most impressive looking title of PlayStation 5 event, which is surprising because the first one is also a platformer, and that's Ratchet and Clank. So you've got Ratchet and Clank, you've got Kana, Bridge of Spirits, you've got Astrobot. That looks really good, and Sony are going to take that seriously because it's almost like they're making that their new mascot. In fact, heck, the PlayStation 5 looks like it was a mature Astrobot design. If Astrobot grew up and hit puberty, it probably looked like a PlayStation 5. And then you've got, speaking of puberty, Sackboy coming out as well on PlayStation 5.
How did you segue into that?
So we've got quite a lot of platformers coming out next gen. So I think, whether they all challenge Nintendo. What's that? Sorry.
I said plenty of choice as well.
Yeah, plenty of choice
as well. I'm not sure if it's a platformer, but have you talked about Little Devil Inside on PS5?
Little Devil Inside. Oh, is that the paper mache one?
Yeah, it looks like paper mache. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a platformer actually. It looks more like a RPG hack and slashy adventure action thingy. But it looks amazing as well. So let's just remember the trailer for it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I said there's loads. Less said about Bug Snacks, the better. But yeah, I don't know if that's. I don't think that's a platform. But yeah, that's a really good one. In fact, Julian, who was on our stream, a few weeks ago, who's also works at Ubisoft, said that he was really impressed by that, and he was quite dismissive of quite a few games. He wasn't impressed. Moby says, I'm not a fan of Horizon. So that Horizon Forbidden West trailer was amazing graphically, but I was like, meh. Yeah, I agree with you. Graphically, it looked good. Like the underwater bits looked good, but I need to see more gameplay. I think some bits looked really good graphically, but it does look like a lot like Horizon Zero Dawn, but just some bits have improved. Am I being unfair or being a bit too critical there? Like, it wasn't the PlayStation 5.
I think a lot of people said how fantastic that trailer looked. I am a big fan of the Horizon games. I really like it, and I am really looking forward to that. But I didn't think the trailer was leaps and bounds above what we saw with Horizon, and that's mostly because it's hard to convey that over a YouTube stream. So I'm sure in person the differences will be much more apparent, but the trailer looked good, like it always looked good. So.
Yeah, I mean, it looked good. It wasn't the big next gen oomph that I was expecting, and I don't think I saw that with PlayStation 5 generally.
I
But
didn't get that with
PlayStation,
either one actually, Xbox or PS5. Nothing really wowed me, to be honest
yeah,
with
nothing did. I think Hellblade looked good, but I don't even know if that looks like more CGI than in game. And they say it's running in engine, but in engine's been abused. That word has been abused so much that I can't really take it seriously anymore. But yeah, so I mean that's I think wraps up a lot of the this week's developments. Things are going to get really. I think this week was a bit of it's a much more quieter week than the last 2 weeks. But the next few weeks that are coming, we're going to have the Ubisoft show on Sunday the 12th. That's going to be that's going to be a big one. I think, Exa, you're right. Maybe on the. I think that there's still rumored. There's not confirmed on the Xbox reveal event, but that's supposed to be the week starting July 20th. So it will be July 21st. You may be correct there. And when that happens, then we're gonna have basically what I'm trying to say is big news is coming. Not just on the Xbox front, but everything. We haven't seen PlayStation VR 2 or wherever it is. We haven't seen what they're going to do next. Sony promised a lot more to come. So so things are heating up generally. Maybe it may seem like a quiet week, but a lot has happened. And I think next week you'll see a lot more. So yeah, Asa, I think we are going to now jump into some Sea of Thieves, unless you guys in the chat want us to discuss anything further. I think we've been talking for about a good an hour and 20 minutes. We'll jump into our gaming segment. So if you're ready to jump into some Sea of Thieves.
you. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Wicked.
Cool. What we're
Asa,
going to do then, if no one's got anything urgent that they desperately need to say on the stream, we're going to pop up a Be Right Back screen so we can get our technical shit together. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. We'll play some games, chat some more, and see where we go from there.
Cool.
Brilliant.
All right, back in a way.
Welcome back, guys. We are going to commence with our live stream with some gameplay. This time of Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is doing pretty crazy in terms of sales. It's ranked second on Steam for some reason. Again, not for some reason. It's got long legs, long sea legs. Acer and Virtuous Scimitar or Safe will be playing the game. Interestingly, Safe has never played Sea of Thieves, so it's going to be really interesting watching him fumble around on ship. But I have a sneaking suspicion he'll be better than Acer.
We'll see. We'll see. I just got to change my y-axis setting to inverted. It's already on default. Don't worry about it. Let's do this.
Are you serious? Are you going to invert the sticks? You're a sick person. You're a sick person. You need help.
That's normal to me. That's normal to me. Sorry to say. I don't understand default. I don't know why they call it default. That's just racist.
Yeah.
Right, I guess I have to wait in the pub, or Safe will get lost when he connects to the game.
I'm just loading. I'm looking at nice pictures of pirate ships.
I'm not going to wait in the pub.
Hey, so what is that thing you're holding? That like bowl of rocks or something? This game has had so many updates now. I can't recognize some of the stuff in there.
There's a blunder bomb. And yeah, it has got my elegant leisure pirate.
Have you been playing this secretly? You've got loads of stuff, or is that the game just gives you the stuff now?
I don't think it's very secret that I've played it a bit.
I'm waking up, guys.
Oh, we're breaking up for you?
Waking up.
Oh, waking up. Ah.
I'm getting a story from this guy.
See if Safe is in the game with us.
I've already completed it, mate.
That's how little he knows about this game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chop the button. Hang on. What's going on? Refill tankard. Oh, I'm married. How dare you ask such a
Right. Let's go get on the boat. I guess we'll do some nice simple. In fact, in case anybody that's watching does follow this game, we'll pick up the new kind of quest that was added about a week ago.
What is it? What's the new kind of quest? Because I want to jump back into this.
Ghost ships. We will get ripped to pieces.
Oh shit! I think Safe. You're in for a treat here, man. Because you missed out. Obviously, I'm missing out now because my bloody download hasn't happened. But there's so much banter in this game. Like the random stuff that happens.
I like it.
Yeah, it'll be fun to play with you on this.
Oh, this guy's got a loot and he's jumped. Oh, yeah, no one told me the controls to climb on the ladder, by the way, so I just dove into the water.
It's the same as every other game with ladders. You've got it. Come down here. Zoom. You need to vote on our little voyage.
So let me see Safe's character. What he looks like.
He's gone aged.
He's gone aged.
Oh yeah.
I'm playing how I feel. Right, petrifying conflict with vicious. Are we doing that seriously?
We're doing that. We're not doing that. We're gonna sail over there and we're gonna sing.
Well, the good news is I've got an achievement, so it's good.
It's actually fun just watching Safe just run around the ship. Shit. Your character does remind me of you.
I'm going to explore a little bit. I'm going to try and put you off as well.
Oh, link code. There we go. Right. Cool. Nice straight line sail. We're going to do that. And we are going to sing. Right. Oh.
Where'd you go?
I might
Out
have fallen off the
overboard.
boat.
Out overboard. There he is.
Okay, safe. We're going. Push this with me.
Where are you?
Grab the
You
other
got it,
handle.
man.
Up there. Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
It was funny.
Sail the boat. Straight line. You're on it. You can steer.
Okay, here we go.
How much can go wrong? You're just going straight, man.
Let's do it.
The other kind of straight.
Let's get... Is there an accelerator or do I...
There is. There is.
Is it right trigger or A?
No. Moving the sail.
I haven't even opened the settings. I haven't looked at the controls. I have no idea.
No, you don't accelerate and decelerate, mate. This is a ship. So basically, let me explain while I'm sitting out here. You control the speed of the ship by moving the sails, like corresponding to the lines in the sky, the wind. So you have to align and constantly move that around.
Guys, I'm actually not 5 years old, so you don't have to.
I was trying to help, man. But
I thought there might be a mechanic like Assassin's Creed where you just open up the sails and sing a shanty. And
this is coming from a guy who said press right trigger to accelerate and decelerate. You know, oh, come on, man.
Oh, it's gonna be a long one.
Yeah. I like that little. Oh, they got a little. What? You got a parrot now? That's brilliant.
oh, what it is? Pulls a gremlin.
You're doing well. You're doing well. I'm better. I'm drunk.
I forgot how nice the water looks in this, man. That looks crazy.
Oh,
Tell you what, Safe, you let go of the steering wheel.
Yes, sir.
You go familiarise yourself with the boat because we're going to go fight in a minute.
Oh, that's great. How do you shoot it?
Exactly.
Use cannon. I won't use it yet, just in case.
You need to have some cannonballs in your possession.
If I stand here, is that safe?
Where are you?
I'm on the plank thing in the front.
It's perfectly safe.
Okay. What the hell was that? I'm being attacked. What are you?
Oh, there's our ghost ships. Okay, have you figured out the cannons? Because here we go.
Oh, that was quick.
Oh my god, this is not gonna go well, is
It's
it?
not. We're definitely going to die.
This is gonna be fun to watch.
Harpoon gun is any good. What's it?
Gonna blow it.
Is there a
nice.
fleet of boats?
Blow it up for maximum carnage.
No, I don't like that gun.
You don't like that gun, harpoon?
Harpoon, I want them to use. Wow, that was
I think if you press Y, you can cycle through your actual weapon, but then you'll have two in your possession.
got a sword.
But you don't want to be
Sword.
using. Yeah, I don't think the sword will do very much against these ghost boats. You need the cannon.
Fair enough.
So, there it is. A couple of barrels here of cannonballs. You can carry 10 at a time, and just keep getting them.
Okay. And then what, you load them into the cannon? Load cannon. Easy peasy, I might focus game fast.
Oh man, you haven't seen nothing, man. Wait till the. Oh man.
I know there's giant squids and stuff like that. I've seen some of the games.
Oh yeah. That's when that shit hits the fan. It's just crazy. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna jump in it again. The game has seen like massive sales, and I don't even know what the new updates are. But
Here's
I've
one.
been
It's a
told.
bit torn up, but it's a pretty big sale.
I
Sorry.
thought that was so bad. That was like a dad joke 2.0, man.
Going back here so we can see the response. People watching the stream are bound to be laughing out loud, so just give it a minute. Give it a minute.
Are you gonna pull up alongside the ghost ship and we,
Yeah, pretty much.
I forgot what the slang term is, a broadside?
Broadside, isn't it? I haven't watched Pirates of the Caribbean for a while.
I watched it recently, but I totally forgot the whole thing.
Oh man, this is gonna be hilarious. I wish you could see the game through Safe's perspective. It's just,
It's very scary.
yeah, I'm sure.
Pull up alongside its left. Oh no. Let me fire a harpoon, see what it does. Ready?
I'm not sure the harpoon will do anything, but go for it.
But you don't know my skills yet.
It's true. It's true. Okay, we learn.
I've decided it doesn't do anything. Let's go to the cannon.
Oh, ghost barrels. Oh no, I think they blow us up.
No, if I blow myself.
Good, good.
Keep it steady. Almost level with the boss. Keep it steady. By the way, I don't know what's on our right, so.
Oh my
Water, you're
god.
all right.
You guys could die.
We are definitely gonna die.
Have faith.
Game looks so good, man.
Oh, another ship. Hello.
Pow, pow. The
Oh, I have to throw the cannonball. That's not a good start, guys. I thought it loads multiple cannonballs. Right. No, successful. I've
You're
already won.
fighting 2 ghost ships? I thought one.
No, way more than 2.
Try to fire. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z. Oh shit. Where's the other ship? Where's the other ship? It's behind us.
There's lots. You have to take out a certain number of them, so just keep shooting them as they go past. One on the right. We've got it.
Hang on, here we go.
I see you. You're repairing the
One
ship.
button.
Safe is completely oblivious to the
Yes!
whole of the ship.
I missed that counted as a hit. Oh,
I've just been hit by a Dragon Ball Z shot. Can I fire it? No. Where's the next? Where's the other ship? Oh. I'm scared. Ace, I'm scared.
me too, me too.
Oh, bitch. Where's the other
Ooh,
ship?
where's
Why are
that?
there so many of these ships? What's going on?
Wait. Where's safe? Safe. Safe.
See my mate?
Safe.
Hello,
Calm
yes,
down.
Oh wow, that's a good mechanic. Alright, there's one on our port side, or I think that's
I don't know which way that is.
left. I think I might be wrong. It's probably the other way. Load cannon. See, I thought you can load multiple cannonballs and then just fire it.
Where's that machine gun fire cannonball? Wait.
Right, we're gonna go this way.
Which way is that way?
I don't know, the way that we're going.
You have to follow the lines in the air, like Gaz said. Because,
For speed you do, yeah, we don't...
that's for the wind, you see. So,
Yeah, I think you can turn the sail into them.
yeah. Pull up alongside that bastard there. I'm gonna avoid him.
Oh, that's exciting. There's a giant shark as well.
Where the what? There's a cloud that looks like a skull. Just to let you know. So don't panic.
Oh yeah.
Right, I've almost got this guy on my side. So keep going.
I'm going.
On the right side, I'm gonna murder him.
Yeah.
Here we go. Almost there. Almost there. Come on, you. Come on. Eat this. Yeah. Yeah. He's going to kill me. Yeah. I think I destroyed him. There he is.
Yeah,
You got
that's
the
right.
arrow.
He's doing a Dragon Ball Z laser beam. What the hell was that? Something here. Something here. Oh, behind us. Behind us.
Oh man, I'm just crying. I'm not even playing. I'm just listening to this. Just watching you guys just mess this up. I'm surprised you've lived this long.
So much.
I'm surprised, man. Pure. MLG gaming right here. Oh,
MLG game.
I know that's MLG means Major League Gaming.
Oh, I know.
That's how
know.
I am. What's the number?
You're gonna run out of planks soon.
Yeah.
Face it.
I know.
Right, running out. There we go. Hang on, there's a guy on the right.
You haven't seen this other bit. Ace is keeping the ship afloat by repairing it downstairs, and
My health is very low. I don't know how you.
eat bananas.
Guys, you've got one job. Talk to the people watching.
The people.
I think this is run out of cannonballs. Jesus Christ.
Dan Marshall, hey Dan, how you doing? Haven't played this in a year. Nice to see they've got some good new content. Yeah, there's loads of content coming out for this apparently, and it's shot up again in sales. It's like second on Steam sales, just following behind Horizon, which just which is crazy because this is an old game.
It has only just launched on Steam, to be fair.
Oh, has it? Okay, that might explain it why. But I mean, a game like this is like free on Game Pass, and
What the
you
heck?
know, I got Game Pass. Safe, have you got it on Game Pass?
Yes, I have.
See, everyone's got Game Pass, and everyone's playing this on Game Pass. But this is like the online community made this game, and there's so much new content. I haven't played it like you, Dan. So, Dan, we need to party up and
Do I offer
play
my
this.
soul? I just offered my soul. I don't know what that means.
Oh, you're dead.
Oh shit, Dan's X1 got nicked. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh,
Yeah, that sucks. Like, why? Is it the original Xbox One? Because they'd have to carry that massive Xbox. I'm sure it wasn't easy. But hey, Dan, next gen's coming. And you can get the next gen consoles. Which console are you going to be getting? Oh, it was the original Xbox One. Bro.
you say we, but I'm not with you because I'm in some.
Yeah, but the crash is good as well. Own it. We didn't crash into the island, we're good.
Oh my god.
I've just followed the lights on this.
Oh, that was so close. I've just caught up in that bit. That's good steering, man. Well done, man. That's literally scraping it.
It's just single-handedly saving the day.
Oh wow, Dan's actually gonna go PS5 next gen. That's crazy. Considering when I think me and you queued up on the PlayStation 4 launch, and you were still staunchly Xbox, but now you're moving to PlayStation 5. Interesting. Most people are going Xbox that were previously migrating to PlayStation. What has happened? Have you just on fire, Ace?
I don't know why.
You have to get a bucket of water and pour it in yourself.
I don't know where the bucket of water is.
Can you pour it
The
on?
bucket's in your inventory. Yeah, I can pour it out. He's not on fire anymore. It's fine. I'll both.
How do you
press
open
it.
it?
I don't know. Left bumper maybe.
Oh no, it's not.
I'm
Sailor
on the-
bucket.
Let me just splash it on your face. That's
Where's the
brilliant.
health? How do I help myself out?
Food.
Megaphone.
If you open the inventory with the left bumper, the food
I'm
items.
so
eat.
sorry that you're having to explain this to me while you're trying to survive the pirate.
You do. It does give you a few things to do.
You know what? I'm good. I'm gonna load this cannonball here.
Yeah.
See, they're shooting pirate people at me. How do you? You know this harpoon, mate. Bring him to this.
Why are we still alive? I don't understand.
I don't understand that. It's quite
Keeping
surprising.
it alive. I missed that shot. We run out of cannonballs.
Got a bit of water.
Ooh, they replenish.
But do you not replenish? No, they don't replenish. We will run out.
Okay, they don't replenish.
And neither does our wood, so that's the bigger problem. But that's okay. We came here to sink.
Your
Down
wood is
was
your
gonna
problem. My wood is fine.
I don't know how you survived that. That's amazing. 2 ghost ships, a shark, volcanoes, and
It was a
all
friendly
sorts.
shark, so it didn't do a lot. But
Oh, okay. That's good.
I'm still trying to figure out the controls. Oh,
Yeah.
A is jump. Oh.
what kind of game has A as jump? Oh, all of them.
Yeah. Oh god, man. You're killing me.
Right, let's go back and fight me. We're fine.
Go back and fight. We just barely survived.
Yeah. We haven't
might
won
have to-
yet.
I might have to mutiny against you. My captain's an insane megalomaniac.
You can if you can convince my parrot, but
Oh, really? Parrot, listen up. Yeah? Come we go take the ship, me and you.
it's my parrot.
Oh, just,
Dan says like almost everyone bugged out to PS4, going to see how things swing, who wins, but also hold off and get a good deal once the stereo goes down. Quite happy being PC Master Race. Oh yeah, that's a fair point. If you're a PC Master Race,
Oh,
really,
look
then
at that VR. He's on his Rift S.
he's on a Rift S as well.
Yeah.
What's the Rift S?
That's the replacement to the Rift.
Oh, is
The
that new
current
one?
Rifts, yeah.
Oh shit, okay.
Captain, what's the plan here? You gonna pull up alongside the right of the sky, or
Oh, you've got the chat working on the thing screen. That's pretty cool. I'm watching a restream. That's nice.
right? Here we go.
Here at GameOnDaily, we keep improving things. Just getting saucier.
Almost.
Oh my god, you're gonna die. Do you not see like the 15 ships like around you guys?
I just see 15 targets.
And shoot none of them.
I'm getting this guy. Surely.
Whoa, that looks cool, man. Scary looking ghost ships.
Where's the other ghost ship?
Right, let's go into the whole fleet of them.
They're like around,
Oh, there's a
surrounded by them.
skeleton ship there as well.
Oh god, definitely going down now. You had a good run, boys.
It's been an honor, Captain.
done. Fractionally better than the Rift, but nothing to shout about. GameOnDaily's looking epic, gents. Well done. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. We go.
The harpoon's
Keep
not gonna
improving.
help.
There's a harpoon.
The harpoon is definitely going to help if we can get some of these barrels because we're running out of wood.
Oh, that's how you do it? Oh, that's wicked. Because that was impractical before. Say, if you had to look out for like barrels in the sea, and you had to jump out, you had to put the anchor out.
Jumping out still has its place, but if you can harpoon someone,
Yeah.
like them.
Can you ram into the ships?
You can't
Yes.
ram into ghost ships.
Why
Because they're
not?
ghosts.
Yes, because they are ghosts. It's just science.
Why not?
But hey, how do the cannons work then?
It does actually give you an explanation. Something about iron having power over them.
Right, they'll run out of cannons.
Dan, I have no idea how they're alive. Hey, oh, you meant in the game? Oh shit. Yeah. Also, I don't know how they're alive. Okay.
Go right there. Keep going. Nah, don't turn yet.
Sorry, but you're going to come up behind him and shoot him. They'll be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna harpoon him and see what happens.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. I might be discovering a new tactic. No, I'm not. Right next to you. You want some of this one? Who's some of this one? No one. He's Dragon Ball Z.
You got him. Nice.
I've killed like 3 or 4, man. What's wrong with you? Come on, man. Have some faith.
Yeah, man. Jeez.
I've destroyed like 3 or 4. I think you probably destroyed some while I was busy on fire and.
I haven't seen Asa destroy anything. The only thing he's been doing is getting buckets of water and then nailing wood into the ship.
That's not important.
It's probably keeping you
I
alive.
got both. You outrageous liar.
I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, he did.
Listen, we're gonna ram the foot. There's a ghost heading right towards you. He missed, man. These guys are. Oh,
That looks hilarious. The ghost is flying around. Dude.
oh, let's go on. Oh, there's so
Definitely
many.
getting under the game now.
So many of them. You want some of this?
They're just flying, dodging around you. You guys are doing some expert dodging.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. How did I miss? Oh, that was none. Right, next one. Oh, this guy's dead. Watch this.
You guys not running out of camp?
Dragon Ball Z. Oh crap. I've run out of wool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this cannonball barrel firebomb? Let's do that. Why don't I do that?
I don't know if fireworks on them or not. One way to find out, I suppose.
Oh, that was a sick shot on that ship I just saw there.
Yeah, it tastes pretty good on the cannons.
Yeah. Played Assassin's Creed Black Flag too much.
Yeah.
Nice,
It works.
another one down.
It works. It works. It works. Let's get some more fireballs. What's this do? Chain shot. I don't like that. Blunder bomb. What's that? Works on. Yeah, why not?
Oof. Say, you're doing some mad shots.
Oh,
I don't lie.
they're shooting the
Where's-
skeleton ship.
Oh, why don't we watch them destroy each other and then we swoop in and finish off the survivors?
Well,
Dude, what do you get for them? Do you get like good loot?
for killing them, yeah, you get good loot.
Go for it, man.
But,
What the hell is that ghostly like thing in the middle of those ships? Like, light.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because like the end of this, a flagship appears, and if that was it, then it's what we need to kill. Well, there might have just been a regular ship spawning, I'm not sure.
I don't push your luck, man. You're somehow alive. Now you want to take out the
So why don't we
mothership.
go on the left of these ships instead of going in the middle of them? And we're gonna get
Yeah,
stuck.
we can do that.
Do it now.
Do it now.
No, we're going to
Come
go on
on.
the straight through
Okay,
the middle.
fine.
That's fine.
You're gonna get us all killed.
BRB.
I killed myself. No, I'm still alive. That was a scary one. Where's it up? Oh yeah, pull up alongside this guy.
Which one are we going for?
Oh crap. Go for the left one. Because I think it's safer on that side. There's more enemies on the right.
Hmm?
I need some health or more to go to Purgatory again.
Eat some food.
I don't know where it is.
Oh, you haven't got any food. I'm picking up. There's a barrel of it downstairs.
Oh, oh, oh. It's firing. Ghosts at me. Ooh, I don't think I can reach that guy, so let's go for it.
Yeah, no, but you were. Oh,
There's some crap
So
in the
it's
water.
daytime
Oh,
now.
Oh, no wood. There's food in there if you want to grab some.
How do I grab it? Oh, here we go. Open barrel bananas, yeah.
Banana.
Do I have time to eat it? How do I eat it? Right
Uh,
trigger.
Sure.
Sussed it. This game is complete.
You haven't even got treasure yet. Have you?
Right.
No, no treasure.
Right, this dude on the right, I'm gonna destroy him, I think. Here we go. Come on, son. Nope. I ran out of things on that.
Coming over here a little bit.
Why have you got pomegranate?
For sustenance. And good luck.
I was just going to feed it to the parrot. That would be pretty cool.
Alright, we've run out of ammo for that. Ah, here we go.
Doesn't want it.
Nope, I don't have anything for this guy. I'm gonna harpoon him.
Oh, it does eat the pomegranate.
Where's the spare ammo?
See, I told you.
Spare cannon. Have we run out?
We've run out of ammo. Is
I've
there
got-
more barrels downstairs?
No, that's all we've got. I've got a few. You can have the. Oh, if I've got any. You can
We're just
take the
gonna
ones
have
that are in
to-
there.
We're gonna have to use cunning now. It's the only weapon.
Yeah, I've got barrels of cunning. Let's go.
Alright, I've loaded that one up. and then just work. Where's the next target?
Are you guys on a quest? Or just aimlessly floating around like a
Yeah,
crisp
well, no,
packet?
we've got
in
a
the sea?
quest to fight all these ghost ships
Ah, okay.
until we get the flagship.
Is there a quick way of changing weapons?
Why?
Oh. As in changing the cannonballs I'm holding.
Oh, no, I don't know about that.
No worries. Or is there's some barrels coming up?
Yeah, that's what I'm heading for. We are going to stop.
Oh, nice.
Checking
Wait,
forward.
how do
cannonballs.
you check them? Do I have to let go of it?
Don't know. You have to let go of the harpoon, but I don't know what you have to press.
Oh, I see, I got it. You have to bring it in and then you have to release it.
Yeah.
Taking what you need. Is that it? Or you missed it?
No, I left it around.
I've got like 2 cannonballs. This is very tense.
Alright, oh, loads of cannonballs. You jump in the water, grab some stuff.
Oh, you going for a swim?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, look at this.
Loads of food and wood, which is exactly what we need. I guess we need to turn the boat around and use the harpoon. Kind of want you to get eaten by sharks. So.
What's this? How do I use the wood to repair the ship?
You have to have it in your hand and walk up to a hole.
Okay. That's what she says.
Mm-hmm.
So wrong. Cut wood.
I'm sprinting back to the ship.
That's
Stay with me. How do you climb up? Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'm lagging behind the ship. Come on, you bastard. Yes. I made it. Yeah, I'm the greatest player ever.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Man.
Get to the helm.
More barrels.
Turn the ship around now. Oh crap, he's right behind us. Who wants something, bastard? Dragon Ball Z him. Dragon Ball Z. There's loads of ghosts, loads of ghosts.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
You want some? You want some? You want a sword?
Right, some.
Wank, bunch of wank.
Oh no.
I've got a, whatever this is, storage crate. Ghostly storage crate. How do I drop it on the floor? There you go.
Oh, that's probably got loads of stuff in it, because that's actually really helpful.
Oh, thanks. Opens. It's got loads of cannonballs. How about that?
Nice.
And loads of wood. We've got a chance. if our boat survives these holes.
Yo, man, you got a lot of water coming.
Where are
in.
the hole? Is it this? How do I switch this?
I'm gonna tell you
Ah,
it will sink if I don't plug it up.
Yeah, you both need to be.
I've got a
Smash it.
pistol. Can I repair holes with a pistol?
No, you
Yes.
can't. You need to bucket out and need to start. That ship is sinking.
Nah, we
Where's
good.
the hole? Where's the hole? Where's the holes?
I think I've patched up the holes.
Okay, on the bottom deck, like
Yeah, let's go fight it. So you loaded up on cannonballs.
I believe so.
Oh yeah, this is doing
I'm
something.
talking about-
We're gonna do this.
I don't know what a
We
blunder
might
is.
actually win, all thanks to your supply crate and your crack shooting on the cannon.
Here you go, mate. Sorry. Maybe I should load this. Here we are.
Bang bang. Oh, we've got another one.
We'll see, mate.
Oh god.
I don't know why I keep saying that, just because it looks like the key blasters in my
I wondered why you kept saying Dragon Ball Z, mate.
Almost. Yeah. Oh,
You both should man the cannons, no?
There's only one cannon.
Oh, then kind of screwed.
I can like,
give chase to that guy.
I
I'm gonna
can
get one of
stand there and give him advice or something, like a bit of support. But
Oh, hit him.
the
Oh my god, they're attacking the shit out of you guys.
That one on 1 o'clock. I can go from again. This guy on 3 o'clock is pissing me off. Man. Tell him I'll come from later. Oh, this bastard.
You want shot?
You want some? You want some? I'll give it you. Okay, somebody just hit us. What was it?
it's alright, I'll deal with that. You do the shooting.
Okay. Can you pull up on the right side of this guy? The right side.
Maybe. I'm coming.
That's what she said.
Shoot that barrel if you can. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
What's gonna hurt? Is it a ghost barrel? Don't tell me.
Yeah, there it
Ow.
is.
Oh, the one that killed me. Okay, good luck.
Don't wait there, I can revive you. Ah, you've gone.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I said it fast.
Yeah. Damn it. Yo, you guys are.
Definitely
can
gonna
survive.
win this. Yeah. Well,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm in purgatory again. I guess I'll just wait for this door to open.
yeah.
You guys might
Win
Yeah.
all glory. Yeah. Oh no, I threw the water back on the boat.
Oh no.
Oh, I see the holes in the patches. Yeah, I see.
Funny that you've just seen that.
I'm returning.
We're gonna be alright.
Debatable.
This is why you need a proper crew. One guy does repairs, two on cannons and all that.
Is the 3-man ship the same size as this ship?
No, it's a little bit bigger. I think it's got 2 cannons. And there's obviously the
There you go.
four-person galleon as well.
10.
We can do this, man.
It's going well,
Man job.
relatively.
I'm surprised. You guys are
I
pretty
need
good.
to figure out this trajectory. Oh,
Right, let's go.
that's-
It's alright, we're gonna go alongside them. Oh, there's a player sloop over there as well, I think. I hope they don't come and kill us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I draw the line on optimism there with the other players. So you've got shark, pirate ships, volcano, other players. If you beat this, I rate you so
Is
much.
that ship different over there? No.
Where's this flagship you guys keep talking about?
We have to kill a certain number of the normal ones, but I think we've probably done quite a few. Oh, no.
Check the ghost crate though.
Yeah, it's over wood, isn't it?
Okay, if I get this guy, let's see now. Oof, no. Oh, bastard guy. I run out of which one that one? Did I lose all my cannibals when I died? No.
No, you don't lose. There's one.
Oh.
You're gonna get hit in the face with a ghost.
Come
No.
on. Come on.
Sorry, I'm trying to choose which cannibal. Where is it?
It's coming up on the left.
Left side. Oh.
Yeah.
This ball, I don't know what it does by the way, it's glowing green.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a dragon ball. Here we go, here we go. Turn a bit more, we're gonna ram this guy out.
I don't think you can. I think you just go through it. We'll see.
Ooh, we've merged.
Here you go.
Is it coming out this side?
We're inside it. Turn this thing around.
No, I'm busy.
Don't have time for this, come on! almost finished it, man. If one left a little bit, I could just...
I can't. I've got to fix the holes in the boat.
There's loads of holes, man.
Oh, we may sink this time. Yeah, we're gone.
What?
Oh no, we're screwed.
You need to get your bucket out.
How the hell
Or is it too late?
Press start.
Not too late. But it's very close to too late. You need either the bucket or the wood. I don't care which.
Yeah, I've got wood.
Get the bucket out. Get the bucket out. Get the bucket out.
The holes at
Bucket's
the bottom
fine.
are the ones that
Quiet.
are
I've got wood, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you do.
The wood needs to be in your hand, and you need to do the ones down here.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's the wood.
Oh no, it's not going well.
Here we go.
Nice. You can do it.
Can't do it. We're screwed.
Oh, we're
Who's
not,
manning this shit? Oh my
No
god.
one's managing this shit.
Oh, you just
I'll
better
do
pray
the
there's
thing.
nothing in front of you because. Oh no.
Get more wood safe. We need the ones at the front. The holes in
Just
the
hold
bottom
them
deck are more dangerous.
Yeah. Go to the bottom deck,
Oh,
right at the
we're
front.
alive.
Boss, don't worry, boss.
We're not even about to hit an island.
Boss, don't worry, yeah? I got this.
Oh man. Shit. Wait, are you guys.
There's
Is
one
there
thing
anything in front of you? You guys are so lucky.
Yeah, we're lucky.
So
And
lucky.
brilliant.
I can't find any more wood, man.
Oh, it's alright, I got it. You go do some shooting again.
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, well done, man. You guys were so close to sinking there. That was crazy. That was on the limit.
That was definitely on the limit, yeah.
I don't have any cannonballs up here.
There's some in the storage crate.
Oh, there we are. Good idea. There's one. Okay.
Restream like deletes the comment in almost so.
I can delay that,
very
it doesn't. It's doing it after 30 seconds at the moment, if you mean the chat box on
Yeah.
the screen. But I do have control of that and make it a bit longer.
Yeah.
Can you turn right? Or are you just doing right?
And I will get one of the ones in front of us.
Okay, right. Whoa, that's a good. Pull up alongside the left side of this guy, I think, because there's two of them. I might be able to take out both. Pull up. Unless they're gonna split. Alright, almost there, almost in range. This guy's spotting. I think he's almost hit. Almost in range. 3, 2, 1. He's out. Next one.
Well, my man. Oh god, that goes to the right.
There's some pencils in the water. Oh crap, that's the thing. Oh,
Go
This
on, you
guy's
got the
really-
next one. I wouldn't waste cannonballs on the barrels. We're
enough.
gonna run out again.
Oh crap.
Alright.
And left.
Yeah, we are. Oh, I'm a bit on fire.
It's alright.
Good thing we've got so much water on the boat.
I wonder if I can shoot through him.
Ooh, fire ghost went straight.
Dragon Ball Z. How'd you get out of fire? Okay,
We're gonna need some repairing help again.
okay. Oh, I
Oh,
don't
I'll
have any
deal
wood.
with the fire, that's fine.
Guys are on the limit of survival. That's crazy.
Where's the wood? Here we go. I got this. Repair.
The ones at the bottom. Uh-oh. Nah, we got
Oh,
a
what-
flagship.
Flagship hit.
Flagship must be here, the music's gone all music.
Oh, that's bad timing.
Great timing, we're gonna win.
We got this one.
Oh my god, yeah, I can see some shit. No, that means that flagship came up earlier because that looks like the same kind of those three little line things.
The music's only just come in. It's the one in the middle, it's got like more
Oh,
wholesales.
Oh shit. Here we go.
In fact, there's two flagships. There's one in front of us and there's one behind us. And there's one behind us.
It's like typical buses, isn't it? You don't they wait for them for ages and the two come out at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that. Oh, Jesus.
Jesus
Really
Christ.
good ghost storage space.
Jesus Christ.
Good luck, friends. You're gonna need it. Shit.
Oh, yeah, too much on the. Oh, gosh. Why'd you go in the middle of the night?
You're still repairing the ship. Oh, you stopped now.
Oh,
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I've run out of cannonballs there.
Oh. Why? Oh, I'm just gonna watch. This definitely
Watch
you
them
gotta.
land, man. Watch them land. Come on.
You eat that mango.
Oh,
You eat
man.
that.
Okay, repair mode.
It was bad positioning.
Oh, no.
That ship economics, too.
It really was bad positioning, yeah. But we are dead now. That's it, we're sunk. It was a good adventure.
I refuse. We're not sunk. I'm gonna swim on board their ship and kill the captain. Watch this.
You are welcome to.
Oh,
They'll never stop me now.
yeah, they're gonna die. They did. Buzz.
Firing at them as much. Now, do you have stamina or can I swim forever?
You're playing the music under here.
You can swim until the sharks get you.
Oh,
Well, it's a nice, beautiful sunset. If it's any consolation.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a
Is
good
there a way
way
to
to
save our ship or is it absolutely too late?
You get
It's
another
too
one,
late.
but our ship is gone.
It's not like you had any treasure on there anyway. You're just living on. I like how the ships are like all lined up together. The ghost ships, satisfied, undefeated.
We defeated quite a lot of them, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
You did alright.
There's a mermaid. Like there's a smoke screen. You have to go towards the
Yeah.
mermaid, and she'll
That's
take you to your
probably,
new
um,
ship.
Probably a reasonable conclusion to today's adventure, though. I would say.
Yeah,
So,
that was yeah. That's a very good way to finish things off. I'll let you finish off.
I will do. All right, we've still got
Pretty well.
a little number of people watching the stream, so I hope you enjoyed Safe Sea of Thieves tutorial and the rest of the stream that we did. We will obviously do another one at the same time next week, and yeah, check out GameOnDaily.com. It's a good website worth looking at. Goodbye.
Peace out. Peace. Peace to the Middle East.